Imagine a bomb so powerful it doesn't even need to be dropped. No plane, no missile detonates it where it stands, and everything within 400 kilometers bursts into flames. Cities vaporize. The sky turns black, and the world literally begins to die. It wasn't science fiction. It was an idea that came terrifyingly close to reality during the Cold War. They called it Project Sundial, a plan for the ultimate doomsday device, a weapon so massive that even its creators feared what it could do. But here's the chilling question. How close did humanity actually come to pressing that button? Let's rewind to the early 1950s. The Cold War is in full swing. The United States and the Soviet Union are racing not just to build bombs, but to outdo each other with bigger, louder, and deadlier explosions. First came Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Then came the hydrogen bomb, 1,000 times stronger. But for some scientists, that still wasn't enough. At the center of it all stood one man, Edward Teller, the father of the hydrogen bomb. He believed that if you could build a bomb with a 10 megaton yield, then why not 100 or 1,000, even 10,000 megatons? And that's when whispers began about a secret concept called Project Sundial. So what was Project Sundial? In theory, it was a multi-stage thermonuclear bomb, a chain reaction so enormous that one explosion could ignite the atmosphere around it. The idea was almost poetic and horrifying. The codename Sundial came from its imagined power, a device so bright it would cast a permanent shadow over humanity. Its predicted yield? Around 10,000 megatons. That's over 700,000 times stronger than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Scientists estimated that if it ever went off, the fireball would cover hundreds of kilometers. Everything within 400 kilometers vaporized. Even those far outside the blast would die from heat and radiation. And the dust it would throw into the air? Enough to plunge Earth into a nuclear winter, lasting for years. This wasn't a weapon meant to win wars. It was a weapon meant to end them, by ending everything. Now here's the strange part. Was Sundial ever real, or just a madman's dream? Documents declassified years later suggest that Edward Teller actually pitched the concept to the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission in the mid-1950s. His logic? If you make a bomb so big that no one dares to use it, it could act as the ultimate deterrent. But not everyone agreed. Other physicists, like I. Rabi, called it insanity. One warned it would contaminate the Earth. The engineers also knew the truth. A bomb that massive couldn't even be moved. It would weigh thousands of tons, produce unimaginable fallout, and possibly ignite parts of the atmosphere. In simple terms, Sundial wasn't just a bomb, it was suicide. So the project never left the theoretical stage. But the fact that it was even discussed at the highest levels shows how far the Cold War pushed human imagination and human fear. Let's play the what-if game for a second. If Sundial had been detonated even once, the result would have been apocalyptic. Cities gone. Oceans boiling. The upper atmosphere filled with soot, blocking sunlight for years. No more harvests. Global temperatures dropping. Billions starving. Humanity might not have survived the first Sundial explosion, let alone a second. So yes, we didn't press the button. But the button was designed, and the idea was real enough to terrify the people who knew. Project Sundial reminds us of something dark and powerful that, in our quest to control destruction, we nearly designed the end of everything. But here's the haunting question. What if one day someone tries again? Because the line between science fiction and reality is sometimes just one idea away.